What if I told you this kind of cheating wasn't real? Sub1KD here. Welcome back to part 2 of our 3-part video series interviewing a Call of Duty cheater. Last week, we looked at how cheaters get their accounts. Link will be in the description below. This week, we're going to look at what a real-life average cheater looks like. Everyone knows what a competitive cheater looks like. The snaps, the unparalleled game IQ, the high-end gaming chair. But what about an average cheater? What about the majority of cheaters out there? What does a regular person who runs cheats look like? Today, we're going to go over some gameplay, and hopefully it'll open your eyes to just what an average cheater actually looks like and how cheats are ruining the game for people and they don't even know it. The individual featured in this video shared his screen with me through Discord, allowing me to see him play with cheats on. I'm presenting this without audio, as we are often discussing other topics, and very little of the game audio actually came through anyways. So give me a moment while I hide my camera so that we can actually see the gameplay, and let's roll the tape, as they say. So loading screen is nothing special. It was multiple games cut together. So we'll see different snippets. They're not necessarily in order, but I did capture the opening gameplay of this first game, and I'm going to present it to you largely uncut, simply because, you know, in this sort of opening chaos, it's actually going to, if you're paying attention, look and feel very similar to how we might have these opening games work out, these early games. So he sees a player over in cargo, decides that he's going to go after that guy. And so one of the things in this clip specifically that I think is worth mentioning is he is not doing the typical aim lock, right? Like, these shots, he misses a bunch. These are shots that anybody can hit. I can hit these shots. I have clips where I get kills that look very similar to this. He does this marking squad a lot. I'm not sure why, but if you looked at those shots, and if you want to rewind, pause and rewind, you know, you can see the way that his aim lock is set up is it's set up to be as natural as possible. And so you're going to see this a lot through the video of his shots look like someone who just has good recoil control. So in this case, we are pursuing somebody, and one thing that I want to point out is that when you see players that are in green, right, they are not visible. When they turn red, they are visible. They can be shot, and they're visible to the player. So a lot of times, what you hear is defensive cheaters, or not cheaters, right? Is whether there's intel available to them. This guy does a very good job of actually hiding the fact that he can see them through the wall. So he doesn't, you never see him aim at someone, right, that he can't see. The game tells him, like in this case, he can see that guy. Like, I can see him even without the red highlights there. And you can see that it's not an aim lock. He misses shots. You know, and this is he has his aim lock turned on. It misses shots. By default, it's not pinpoint accuracy. And now he's reacting to the information that he knows, that he knows this guy's there. He just engaged with him. So he's going to go up and fight him. I mean, point blank, that his opponent had the IQ of a large potato, because he didn't notice, he didn't realize that guy was pursuing, wasn't listening, didn't hear him stomping around on the roof. This guy is hard scoped in, looking for the guy who's dead. So RIP him. But in this case, none of this gameplay, if it didn't have red boxes, would strike you as being abnormal. Now, in this case, he had died. Later, we'll cover that death later. And now he's actually going to win his gulag. He's actually looking for money. So he's trying to gather as much money as he can before he wins the gulag. And so, because he knows where he's looking, he can toy with him and kind of screw around in the gulag a little bit. This is a different segment that came up. And in this segment, he is going to get his loadout here. He was going to demonstrate a different feature, a different cheat. But he actually is going to see these people here, and he's going to engage with them. So the fact that it turns red means that player was visible to him, right? So now he actually would have intel. He would know that there's players here. He actually could see both of them. visually. So in a kill cam, it simply looks like he observed someone. He saw them moving. He knows they're there. He saw the guy shadow light on the helipad. So he knew one was up. He knew one was down, and he pursued them. You see this all the time. All right. Very, very common thing. Again, the player is red. That player is red on the screen when he sees him. So a good gaming monitor, 1440, 1080, you're sitting this close to it, you could physically see him, depending on what, especially if you have NVIDIA filters, things like that. So the idea that this guy has been cheating this whole time, and it is something that would be obvious and detectable, I think is a little, it just isn't real, right? Like actual cheaters aren't real, like in the way that they used to be. So if you look, he ran right past this guy. They see each other. He actually takes fire and he just posts up in the window like anybody else would do. And the only reason that he wins that gunfight is he has better anticipation because he knows when he's coming, right? He didn't pre-fire the wall. He didn't aim lock through the wall. This is a different section of part of that clip. He observed two guys at the radar tower, and he's going to go and engage one. Again, intel that he could have had normally if he's paying enough attention. And so this is a gunfight that if you didn't have the red outlines of these players, you would probably look at as like it was a good gunfight, right? He played smart. So this is the frustrating part of cheating, the state of cheating that we're in right now, is that these gunfights look normal, okay? They look normal, and when I tell you that this guy is not a great player, in our conversation, he points that out, right? But in all of these cases, he's acting on information that if he was very practiced and very attentive to what he wants to what he's doing, he would actually be able to probably do this stuff if he's practiced enough. But in none of these clips is it obvious that he's cheating, right? Like we know he's cheating because we can see the outlines, right? We can see it, and we read the title of the video, which is "Spectating a Cheater." Okay, so we know that he has cheats on, but the information that he's picking up and he's acting on, this is the sort of stuff that you see every game. Like you die to this stuff, and when you look at it, a lot of times it's like that dude's not paying attention. He didn't pick him up. He didn't see him in time. And in this case, it just caught him out in the open. Now we know he knew he was there, but it is what it is. Here we're going to get into a couple of times where we can actually see why cheaters, they don't get caught as much. We don't see them as much. So in this case, this is going to be a death that should be easily preventable. He knows actually that he's fighting two people, but he's going to get laser focused on this guy in front of him, and he's not going to pay attention to the guy to his side, and he gets double teamed and he gets killed. All right, so this is going to be a couple of deaths that he had. In this case, he did not plate up. All right, if you look at his plates, he's only got one plate in. He's going to chow this guy. That guy turns on him. He's shooting him in the arm. He's not hitting him in a vital area, and the guy turns on him and gets the kill. In this case, he's going to challenge someone. He knows that guy's there. They know, they see each other there, but he's going to challenge this very bad position. And back in the old Verdansk days, a cheater would have absolutely gotten the kill here. But in this case, it's kind of a draw. They don't actually, nobody gets the kill. They walk away from it because, the cheats are designed to look natural, right? In this case, again, this is what an average player would do. You're in the heat of the moment. You've been running and gunning, and you aren't plating up. You're underplated in this case. Back in the day, the cheats would have actually probably won you that fight because it would have locked onto the head and been all headshots. But in this case, it wasn't. And so the state of cheating that we're in right now, the things that we're seeing as people play this game, the cheats are designed now to look natural. They're designed to fit in, right? So that when you're playing, if you're a good player, right, you can get through 20, 30 kills, and very few suspicious moments. Um, but if you're a bad player, if you're an average player or below, and you're running cheats, the game is going to look natural, like you are slightly better than you actually are, right? I mean, this guy's got all the information in the world. He dies repeatedly because of things like he doesn't remember to plate. He takes 2v1s and doesn't account for both players in the 2v1. You see a lot of the fights that he gets into, he's actually fighting. Um, he's a lot of the fights he gets into, they're fights that anybody can win. All you have to do, if you practice recoil control, if you practice, paying attention to the mini map, using the information around you, if you're paying a lot of attention to the environment you're in, these fights that he gets into, these fights that he wins, anybody can win. Most people can win on their own, right? And so we're in the state where the cheats are designed to mimic that. They're designed to look natural, and it's rampant, right? Like we know that there are, thousands and thousands and thousands of accounts on every single day. And from looking at this lobby, I don't have a direct access, but I have other clips that demonstrate that this was not a high skill lobby. There was nobody here that he fought that you looked at and you went, "Oh my gosh, that guy's a really high skilled player." It was an average lobby. If I had the ability to look, I would probably call it like a .7 lobby, maybe a .8 lobby at best. It's one step above a complete bot lobby, just the way that some of these guys played. And there were a couple lobbies in here. There were a couple of lobbies that had some higher skilled players, but generally speaking, these are the lobbies he's in. I don't recall if he was VPNing or not, to get into those lobbies, or if it was just the fact that it was a newer account that he was on. But that's what we're up against. We're up against cheats that look like you're a bad player who's just on a good run. Okay, this is the future of cheating for most people who are running it. They're just running it to have fun. They're not trying to get into the CDL. They're not trying to compete in the World Series of Warzone. They're straight up trying to just do better than they actually are without putting the work in. And that's probably the most infuriating part, because he racks up 10, 12 kills per game in the games that I spectated, and there's nothing that there's nothing that anybody can do. Okay, like there's no way to fight back against this except for pushing Activision and pushing Microsoft to generate a better anti-cheat, because no one will ever look at these plays and be like, "Oh yeah, that guy's obviously cheating." Like there's no way. Like the way that he plays walls, the way that he plays, and he's not a great, and he talks about how he's not a great player, and he's totally okay with that, right? He's just using the cheats to make it easier for him to have fun, and that's the problem. Okay, that's what we have to fight against somehow, and we have to do it by knocking these cheaters out, and that's Activision's job. So hopefully this has opened your eyes. Hopefully you can see now what an average cheater looks like, what average cheating looks like. It's not someone trying to play comp. It's not someone trying to play in the CDL. It's someone trying to just play through the game, have some fun, and not be and not be a complete bot at the game without having to put the effort in. And that's what the cheat developers are creating for. That's who they're targeting. That's who they're aiming for. And we need to demand that Call of Duty, that Activision, that Microsoft, and honestly that every other FPS maker out there, that they do better at stopping this, at cutting this off, so that we can get into our games and play without having to face this down. So with that being said, I'm actually going to wrap this up today. Next video, part 3, we're going to actually delve into letting our cheating friend here discuss a little bit of the why, right? We're going to delve into the why of cheating. I'm going to bring in some other aspects of it. Why do people use Cronus, and pull some content from various forums where it's discussed, Reddit posts, things like that. So we're gonna have a lot more information. We're gonna get into the why of cheating. Why do people cheat? What are the different reasons for it? And how to look out for that. Within your friends and family. I think people that that you play with that are cheating. How to deal with that. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.